You good to start yet, or what?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good? Okay.
I'm good.
All right, I got to figure out what these buttons do because I don't know what any of this stuff does.
Just push a button, man.
Me and you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Side Scheme. Is that how I start this? I don't remember anymore. Welcome to the Side Scheme. Everyone, a podcast about everybody's favorite superhero card game, Marvel Champions. I am your host. I'm BananaCrapshoot. I think we're going to have a fun episode, I hope. Tonight, I have with me a very special guest. You never know what's going to happen. I don't know if I can trust him because he is quite villainous. Is from Critical Encounters, the critically acclaimed Critical Encounters podcast. Steve, how's it going?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah. Did you hear we won a Champy?
I heard you guys got the Champy for like the best podcast. So
yeah, not Marvel Champions Monthly podcast.
Right.
So there's that caveat. But we beat you out, man. Yeah.
I don't even think we were in the running. I doubt it. There only two people would have listed us. So
I voted for you.
Oh, thanks. That makes one of us. I lost my train of thought now. Thanks. Oh yeah, the Champy had me thinking of the other content creators who put out the most podcast episodes, and I think it has to be you guys, right? Because for 2 years, pretty much or more, you guys have had. You've missed 1 week. You've had an episode every week, pretty much for.
Yeah, we just recorded 110, but I think we released 108. Yeah, we've put out a weekly episode since we started for every week, except for two.
Oh, two.
The first summer because we had some vacations and we didn't plan well enough ahead to have something because we were new to it.
Right.
But then we've had some additional, random spoiler episode. We've had some half episodes, so if you want to count those in there. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool achievement. That's especially for a niche card game like Marvel Champions. It's as far as podcast and content creation goes for it, it's hard to keep that kind of audience engaged when you're a niche of a niche of a niche.
Yeah, and that's us. Right.
Yeah.
The villains of this game that only certain people play, and then yeah.
And then it's
we have
not
fun
like
doing it. So.
That's what you can tell. I think that's why, at least from my point of view, it seems like that's why the show works so well, and why you guys can go so long is because the chemistry's there, and you guys genuinely have fun with it.
Well, and now, if you want to count all the episodes I've been on of the Side Scheme, I think I might have been on more than Tommy has. So we can just lump all of your episodes into ours, and we're good. We're like one collective here. So,
I think he'll be back soon. To be on with me, he's we're working on figuring out a day that works. So hopefully, hopefully soon, we can have him back on. But tonight, what we're going to do is kind of at least my plan. We'll see how long till it gets side-railed. But do a look back on the core set, talk about the heroes, what our thoughts of them if we remember what they were when the box first came out, where we think those heroes stand now. Because we've had so many hero releases now, right now, with Sinister Motives coming out, we'll have over 30 playable heroes. Sometimes we overlook those heroes, that we played 2.5 years ago. So I just kind of want to take a look back and see where we think they stack up with the current card pool. So I think what my general idea is we'll go in alphabetical order through the box, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that works.
So we'll start off with Black Panther, and I'll let you... do you remember when the box first came out, what your initial thoughts were on Black Panther?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Yeah,
You didn't have a journal?
No, I don't keep a journal. I know some people kind of do that, right? Like they log all their games. I don't have the time for that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I remember enjoying Black Panther, liking the whole like puzzle to try to get out his pieces, but also feeling like without them, sometimes he was a little like he would stall out. But then I recall, not long afterwards, there was this whole like he doesn't even need his suit pieces. Just play leadership with tons of allies and use his vibranium. So he seemed to always be good.
Yeah, I kind of remember, for some reason I wasn't the biggest fan of Shuri. When the box first came out, and it's like now it's like it seems kind of dumb because of how good she is. Yeah, so I remember, Tommy really loving Black Panther with protection early game. Because he has the built-in retaliate and he has the built-in heal with the suit, right, where he can move 2 damage if it's the last one in the sequence. I remember him like always liking him, but he wasn't my favorite in this box. Like when the box first came out, he was probably like my 3rd most played hero.
Oh yeah, I think one, yeah, maybe two or three for me. Yeah, not my most played, but not my least played. That's for sure. So,
and so I think I'll just go like since he came out, I think he definitely got stronger with more cards. I think most of the heroes will say got stronger with more cards, but like when the Thor pack came out, and you got Mean Swing and Yarnborn and stuff with him, and the amount of like resources in the deck is like really easy to trigger the Mean Swings and the Yarnborns with him. So I remember he was really strong in aggression there for a while, and still leadership and protection he's still strong in. But yeah, I think he's definitely improved since in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I agree, because you have a lot of extra resources with the vibraniums. You can bring out those allies. Golden City lets you draw a card, so like he can flip and still have a good board with a good leadership support, or anything with a bunch of allies even. Shuffle in whatever cards you're looking for. With what is it, Ancestral Knowledge, so you can kind of get back some of his cards.
Yeah,
and like you're saying with Shuri, now she goes and fetches an upgrade. How many upgrades are there? Not even just the suits, right? But like, if you want to build a deck with utilizes some version of an upgrade, there's an extra version of it right there with Shuri. So
yeah, and if you're trying to build like a Voltron leadership deck, she grabs you the ally upgrades too. So
right,
yeah, he has 8 wild resources built into his deck, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, he hit a lot of kickers. The other neat thing with Shuri that you can do is like a rapid response. You use her up, so she just keeps bouncing, just keeps coming back. You keep getting those upgrades for the Voltron stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the rapid response, because it's not like from hand. So every time that rapid response triggers. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I
agree. He's improved. So.
You got anything else on Black Panther then?
No. Still good. Still enjoyable to play. So.
All right, I think
maybe the one thing is there's so many more deck archetypes that you don't have to rely on his suit pieces anymore if you don't want to. Which is nice. It gives you a couple different choices with him. So.
Yeah. All right, so the next one up would be Captain Marvel. I'll let you start off with this one with like your thoughts when the box first came out.
Yeah. I don't remember playing Captain Marvel a lot. I don't know if like the other guys at the table in my playgroup were playing Captain Marvel, so I didn't play her. I do remember those early games though, being able to use energy absorption to charge up energy channel and like finding that combo, being like, oh look, like 2 cards, man, I can like do a ton of damage. I do remember that being a lot of fun early on because that was just neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being like, I don't know, kind of, I guess, torn on her. I think she would have probably been 4th for me when the box first came out. I remember, like, you were trying to do justice because you were trying to get those energy icons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I guess, like, you didn't realize how powerful, like the Alpha Flight Station was, and like just she can draw you so many cards. And then I think once Captain America's pack came out and we got like Avengers Assemble and stuff, like you really saw how strong she could be in leadership, because you could draw so many cards to pay for it and get all the readies and have all the allies because she has energy absorption. But I mean, the rest of her kit is pretty decent, like her helmets, whatever.
That's the best helmet in the game. What are you talking about? No.
It is not.
As a villain, I love to see people waste time playing that card.
Yeah. And like Spider-Woman's alright. Like she's solid. The Confuse is good for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, being able... Well, and she's another one now where she's an after enters play. So... you can sneak attack her in, you can rapid response her back, so you can just confuse lock, maybe, and utilize things now like anything that, do this if they're confused kind of stuff. Like Sonic Rifle, I think, is one, right? Is that? Maybe not. But being able to, like, consistently confuse with an ally like that might be kind of fun. So, I mean, it costs 3, so you have to worry about that, but... it's kind of neat now that you can respawn her a lot. So.
Yeah, and I mean, really, you could, since her alter ego, like her action just draws a card. Like, if you could probably play like a leadership deck where she stays in alter ego the whole time. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean things like Alpha Flight Station. That's better when you're in alter ego, right?
Right.
So it does lend itself to flipping. I think she's become a real good second deck, maybe. Say, like, if you're going to play... I've heard Kennedy Hawk say this a lot on their show, where he'll say, like, I'll play Captain Marvel and just feed cards to the other player. Like, she's a great support character. And then, once in a while, wham, 10 damage. Right? So,
right. Yeah. Well, I was just trying to think, like, where do I think her best aspect is? It's probably leadership. Her worst one, I don't know, people might disagree, is probably protection. But I think she's like, I think she's one of the best heroes for, like, if you wanted to do like a dive bomb aggression list, because she can pay for it easy. It's not hard for her to get aerial, and she can draw cards. So you're gonna see him more often. But yeah, that's just my...
Yeah, because she has the Cosmic Flight upgrade, right? So then she gains aerial. So anyone who wants to play with, if you want to play with some of those aerial cards. Yeah, I agree. Protection, though, I don't think is great for her. I mean, I haven't played a lot of Captain Marvel Protection, but it just doesn't seem like it.
No one has.
Yeah, probably the least played Protection out of the core.
Yeah, I think so. It was the roughest. Like, aggression and protection, I think, were the roughest out of the core set. I don't really have anything else for Captain Marvel.
No, I don't either. I do think she's improved though.
Yeah.
There's just so many options for her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was never bad. She's better now.
Yep.
She's still not my favorite. But I think I consistently rank her like in the when I do the side schemes like hero tier list, she's always in that like A range, you know? Which I think is fair.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, next up we will go to Iron Man. Core set Iron Man was something. I actually played a bunch of Iron Man. He was my second most played hero out of the core set, and I played him a lot in aggression, which was stupid. I didn't even worry about repulsor blasts. I just used supersonic punch to get 2 for 8 damage, because it was more consistent for me than doing 1 and trying to stack a bunch of energy resources. War Machine, the first game I played against Ultron, I thought was the greatest ally in the game, which we all know he is the worst signature ally in the game.
Yeah, but he has his use when you have a lot of drones out.
Yeah, but that one game against Ultron is the
very narrow use. Yep.
Is when he's great. He was fun figuring out the puzzle of building him for building out the suit, what cards you want to use to get the most out of Pepper Potts, how to abuse Stark Tower, not only for you but in multiplayer games for the other characters. I think he was probably one of the strongest out of the core set, and he obviously has just gotten. But I'll let you talk about your core set experience with Iron Man.
I agree with a lot of what you said. He was my number 1 played. I played him the most out of the core. I liked the whole assembling his suit and having to get it, and like you said, that kind of that puzzle with Potts and the tower. Right? Oh, if I'm in Alter Ego and I pay for a card with a tech, I can immediately get it back to use it again, or to bring it out. His future stability, letting you dig and deciding which card you're going to put in the discard pile so that you can trigger Pepper Potts. I played a lot of Justice, I think was pretty common. And then as the packs started coming out and you started to get more tech, like Protection got really good with him. And I think it just keeps getting better as we get more and more tech cards, right? You can play tech upgrades on your allies and they count towards his hand size, right? So
yep,
that's a lot of fun. I just like Iron Man.
Yeah.
So.
Like core set Iron Man, he could have like the same amount of hit points as She-Hulk, because at the time we didn't have like endurance, right? Like he could get to 15. He could have the most health. He could have the biggest hand size. He could do the most damage, and he could do the most thwart. He was like, he could do it all the best if he was set up.
Yeah, once you got him set up, that's the thing. You had to get him set up, and that was the fun part. I do think while he has gotten more toys throughout the years, the villains we see more retaliate on the villains, and Iron Man has a lot of like if you're using your gauntlets you're only pinging for 1 damage and taking 1 retaliate, it's not as efficient there, so it could be kind of dangerous. And I think we've seen more villains, Zola with retaliate and minions with retaliate now. So like there's that little piece that still kind of works against him. It's you can also supersonic punch for 8 or repulsor blast, and just you don't always have to hit for 13 with repulsor blast to make it useful, right? So, but
he's probably
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, with the repulsor blast, even if you only hit 1 energy, 1 for 3, it's not the worst ratio. It's not great, but yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I think he is probably one of, like, 2 or 3 heroes where maybe leadership is his worst aspect. That's my take. And the reason for that is because it can, in leadership, take a while to get the hand size to like play the allies and get the board you want to get. It's like because you're build. I guess you got to decide if you want to build the suit or build your board of allies. But then you're kind of sacrificing, right? Because you're losing on health and all kinds of stuff.
Well, what you can do is you can build the allies who have the tech upgrades. So you don't need the suit to get your hand size. And then all of a sudden you've got your hand size, and then you can get the suit out kind of later in the game.
Yeah.
It is out there. It it can work that way. So I still like playing Iron Man. Daniel probably, when he listens to this, he's gonna get mad at me, but whatever.
What about Daniel?
Oh, he hates Iron Man, both thematically and whatever. So that it's like his nemesis.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else on Iron Man. You?
No, I think that's good.
She-Hulk. You want to take She-Hulk then?
Okay. My least played out of the core.
I think everyone's least played.
Yeah, I didn't really get her early on. Because I like to flip and stay in hero form, and once you flip, right, I was like, you play Iron Man and you just try to get that suit, then you flip in hero mode and you just stay there. And she really incentivizes you flipping back and forth. I think she has a bunch of cards that are just garbage. And I don't try to be negative a lot, but there's a lot of cards that I don't know if I've ever played them. Especially not, maybe in the core because you didn't have a choice, but like, I don't really care for legal practice.
Legal practice is the worst hero card in the game. It is terrible.
Right? I mean, choose and discard up to 5 cards from your hand, remove 1 threat for each card discarded this way. And it's an event itself. So,
it's an alter ego action, right?
Right. Which is neat. You can remove thwart while you're an alter ego. Right. That's cool. I just don't.
But it has to all be from the same scheme.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't really care for that one. And I don't really care for Superhuman Law Division. I mean, it's got a great name, and the art on it is cool. I guess it's a support, so thins your deck out and can protect you against things like Caught Off Guard. But I also was never big of, spend a mental, remove 2 threat. Also in Alter Ego.
Also, Ground Stomp, not good. Or it's not that it's not good, but it's not great unless you're playing Ultron.
Right. Yep. And without upgraded drones.
Right.
Yeah. Now, however, and once I sort of found some decks where really like, if you play Justice and you flip her back and forth, because I think I was trying to play aggression. Like, it's She-Hulk, she should just punch things. I think now she has improved a lot. She probably has improved the most because my flipping game is better personally. Like when to flip, how to flip, knowing that, okay, this is a character I'm going to go back and forth with. It just ignoring the bad cards and using them as resources. And there's just more cards out there to build some interesting decks with out of her. More health, like you said, right? We have endurance and things like that. If you can get some card draw going, because the 4 hand size does hurt. She's still not my favorite, but she has improved since the core for my enjoyment factor.
Right. I think she's obviously okay. So she's my least played. I echo all the things you're saying. Yeah, she just, I don't know. Out of all these heroes, she had the most holding her back, I guess.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we bust on War Machine a little bit, but Hellcat is
not great.
I don't
either.
care. Right? Oh, great! Put her back in my hand, but I only have a hand size of 4. She costs 3. It's like, it's my whole turn again to bring out this 1 attack 2-Thor ally. Like, yeah.
No, you do it to get the 5th card, right? So you hold her out there, and then...
she becomes the resource? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get if you've bothered to put her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, though, Gamma slamming for, 15 damage is a ton of fun. Like you're walking that fine line. Oh my god, I've only a couple hit points left. Wham! Hit for a bunch, and then pray you don't die.
Yeah. So you just use the symbiote suit.
Okay.
So then she starts with 25 health, and it's a lot easier to manage. You're one of 40 card Gamma Slam.
Yeah, that's like Ground Stomp. There should be maybe 1 Ground Stomp in the deck and 2 Gamma Slams or something like that. So.
Yeah, and like another Superhuman Strength or something too.
Actually, you get rid of like illegal practice and you give yourself another split personality, because that card can be fun too if you can play it just right. Flip, draw different cards depending on what you've got. I mean, it does cost a lot, so the timing is very important. But
right,
so she's very inconsistent with the cards that are the most fun, and she's very consistent with the cards I don't really care that much about.
Right, and she's gotten better, obviously, with all the cards that do something after a flip, right?
Yeah, because you incentivize to flip with her, so
right. So, and the newest stuff's like Ready to Rumble, right? Which is like after you flip, you can ready it. So, yeah, there's some stuff you can do with her now.
Yeah, the other thing, I don't mean to rag on her too much, but the other thing too is like, I think maybe Hulk suffers from it too, is very stun susceptible, because I can't use my 1-2 punches now because their response, and you're hoping to attack with that 3 because 3 attack is really nice, but I can't because I'm stunned. And yeah,
well, Ready to Rumble would be a way to get around that.
Right, which is why she's improved because of those cards.
But yeah, out of the core set, and that's another thing too. Why he's not a core set hero, but Thor, right? Like the way I built Thor is like an Earth's Mightiest Heroes reset aggression deck a lot of the times, and that could be susceptible to stun. But now that we have godlike stamina, that really negates that for Thor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to get my Thor plug in there. So.
I like Thor. Thor's fun. And my last real complaint for Jennifer Walters, she's got the attorney trait, but there's nothing to key off attorney. Oh. When do we get more attorney cards? That's what I want to know.
All right, I'm gonna let me get a piece of paper here. Let me get a pen.
Taking notes.
I'm gonna write this down. To Caleb, Grace. Steve thinks your game sucks, and we need more attorney support for the Jessica Jones and Matt Murdock attorney decks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to fold it up, and I will mail this out first thing tomorrow.
All right. Well, when we did our 100th issue, which was not that long ago.
Yeah, you have 100 issues just with She-Hulk.
We one of the questions was what trait needs more focus or needs to be built up, and people wrote attorney down, so I'm not the only one.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think we had at least one vote. Yeah, from Mighty Jim from the Card Game Cooperative. I'm pretty sure he voted one for attorney. So
is he an attorney in real life?
I don't know. He's from the UK, so they would call him like a barrister or something, right? So
yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave She-Hulk alone.
Okay. Yep.
We'll move on to the most played hero in the core set by me by far was Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I loved playing Spider-Man in the core set. There's just so much going for him. The best signature ally, being able to draw a lot of cards, being able to not take any damage, canceling treachery when revealed effects, big damage, being able to heal. The only thing, right? So then webbed up, right? Canceling 2 attacks. The web shooters for lots of resources. The only thing that I didn't love with him is like handling the scheme, right? Which is why I tended to go to leadership so I could have allies handle the scheme, because the only way he can really handle the scheme, if it gets like advances and stuff on it, is spider tracers. And at the time, like playing spider tracers on Rhino is like worthless. It was good in Ultron, it was decent in Claw, but like that, you want that thematic. In this box, it was Rhino and Spider-Man was like a really thematic thing to put on the table, and just having 2 cards that I never used, just that kind of felt bad at times. But I remember like Spider-Man Leadership was the first deck that I beat Expert Ultron with, and that like felt really good at the time.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think I played him as much as you. He was a little lower on my list. I do like him. I think I suffer from the same thing. The one thwart was always tough, because 3 defense, you want to take advantage of it. I like the deck, his hero deck. A lot of the cards are really fun. And I think he has improved. Because there's just a lot of great options, and he has some of the neat tech against the new villains who are stalwart, because webbed up will cancel that attack. One.
Yeah, the first one.
Right.
Yeah, because the webbed up has the force interrupt that when it attaches and they would attack, you discard webbed up instead, then they get stunned. So the webbed up works, but the stun afterwards would fizzle.
It's a little expensive, but it does.
It does work.
It's like kind of the only way to pseudo stun a stalwart villain. So that's cool. And Aunt May to heal 4. So even if you're exhausted, right, just go drink some soup.
Yeah.
And and I think whenever in our show, whenever we're referencing like a big hero attack, for some reason, we always come back to swinging web kick. Just like 8 damage. Okay.
That's like the standard. That 3 for 8 is like the standard, right? Sometimes you get 3 for 7, but there's usually like overkill or like some other effect on it. But 3 for 8 is like your pure damage standard for a hero card. Yep.
And hey, you're aerial during that, I guess, or the card's aerial. I don't know.
Yeah, the card has aerial.
The card has aerial. But backflip is great too, right? I always enjoyed defending or not defending with Spider-Man or whatever. You don't have to yet, but like using Spider Sense to draw into a backflip. You're like, yeah, I don't have to defend now. Just backflip.
Right. So. Yeah, that's like one of the most satisfying experiences of the game. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely got better. He plays good everywhere. I think Justice is his worst aspect. Don't at me. I mean, he's pretty flexible, not just because he's Spider-Man, but also his hero kit. Like I like doing like another Voltron. See, she's like the perfect Voltron ally because she doesn't take consequential damage. So the only thing is you gotta get an honorary Avenger on her, so you could get like the Sky Cycles and stuff. So it's a little more work. You need to put a little more work into making Black Cat. Your Voltron ally, but you can get there. But he can play any leadership archetype, any aggression archetype, really. He can do it all, man.
Now, do you find that now that you say, let me play Spider-Man, or has he got overshadowed by other heroes?
I think honestly, so of all these heroes that we're talking about today in the core set, Spider-Man is the only one that I've probably played in the last like 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, Thor is still, I still play Thor on the regular, but Thor and Venom would be like my 2 go-tos right now. And then as heroes come out, I play a bunch of games with them, try deck building and stuff and trying to see where heroes are at. So, I try to go back. The core, it's on my list to go through the core set again, and some of those older heroes I don't play as much anymore, like Black Widow and stuff. But yeah, for me, it's like Thor and Venom are like my two that I play right now. Till Nova comes out, then it'll be Nova 24/7.
Okay.
All gas all the time.
Yeah, I find the same thing. Like I don't go back. I have a series just came out today where I'm playing the core guys, but that's specific. But in general, we're trying to play whatever's new, or whatever was just new, because I don't feel like we got enough games in with them. And I don't know how many core set hero games I played, but it was a lot, because there was a time when it was just the core set, or we only had Miss Marvel and Captain America. So like we played these guys to death.
Yep.
And going back now, it is interesting to get them and play them again. I think with Sinister Motives, I'm going to have to play some Spider-Man again, just because, right?
Yep.
But like Sinister Motives doesn't inspire me to go build a Black Panther deck or Captain Marvel. But it's a deck, like, how can I not play Spider-Man against the Sinister Six or whatever? So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's it for the heroes. I feel like. So do you feel like your rankings that you had the heroes in, like at the time of the core set, do you think that still lines up with how you'd rank them now?
Yeah. I think are we going to rank them? Do we?
Sure. Go for it right now. Boom. Right now.
Boom. All right. On the spot. I'm gonna my favorite, or the one I like the most, for me, Iron Man, and I think that still stays true. I'm finding more enjoyment maybe with Captain Marvel now, having played her a few times recently. Black Panther and maybe Spider-Man with Sinister Motives will be my third. Black Panther 4 and She-Hulk 5. There we go.
So that's current rankings.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, current.
Putting zero thought into it.
Yeah.
Gut reaction. So
that's when you know it matters. Mine would be still Spider-Man. I think my number 2 would be probably Black Panther now, then Captain Marvel, then Iron Man, then She-Hulk. So it would have been a little different.
Yeah.
But I think overall this core set was a very good core set. I mean, there's basic cards, allies, Nick Fury, Mockingbird, First Aid, Mansion, Helicarrier. Those cards all still see play, you know.
Yep. Sure.
There's core stuff, combat training. Obviously, Maria Hill is still like the most busted leadership ally. Get readies, make the calls. Just a lot of. I mean, it was a great core set because a lot of these core cards are still used today in decks. So 2.5 years later.
I mean, energy, strength, and genius.
Obviously.
But I mean, I still put mansions and helicarriers in decks. They don't go in every deck anymore, but they still go in some decks.
Right.
Nick Fury still makes it into decks. A few cards I don't think, now that I'm past, now that we have, what you said, 30 heroes, some cards I don't think I ever put into a deck is like Emergency. I don't think that one's ever made it into a deck in recent memory.
The only time I remember playing Emergency is if I was doing like Iron Man or Captain Marvel and trying to have as many energy icons in my deck as I could.
Sure. That would work for Thor too, if you're going for the lightning strikes. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't play shoot, where'd it go? Tenacity. That's another one. It doesn't make it in any decks anymore.
There's one deck it works in. And it's even not that great there. But if you're doing like a Quicksilver OTK deck, having more ways to ready, and you can use his resource generator that generates a physical resource to do it. I mean, it's an expensive way to get it ready, but if you're trying to get,
Right. I see there's a place for it. I still think cards like you can build for them, so they still have some good uses, like Triskelion or Inspired, those still are okay. Although I'm not, if you're trying to make that really wide leadership build, like say with Star-Lord, that could still be helpful. So there's still some cards that just hold on. Hawkeye's still good. You're always going to have minions to have to fight. How about Justice?
What about Justice?
I was trying to think of some cards that maybe don't see any use anymore.
All of them?
Like Interrogation Room?
Yellow and green are basically the same color to me. So,
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
Great responsibility.
I don't play Surveillance Team all that much, but with the shield stuff coming in Sinister Motives, I think maybe that might see a little more play.
Right. Yep, there could be a spot for that now.
The Interrogation Room, I cannot tell you when I ever use Great Responsibility in a deck.
When you were building a Justice She-Hulk and you were trying to get to that Gamma Slam.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
Which I never
but
did,
not,
ever.
Not recently. Yeah. Aggression. I mean, Hulk's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tigra, she's still...
Tigra's still good.
Yep.
Relentless Assault is still good. Chase Them Down still good, right?
Yep. Tag Team. I don't play a lot of Tag Team.
No. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Although it's shield, and it gets around things like stun and retaliate, and cards like I think King. Maybe it's King. There's a few cards out there that attach to the villain, and an attack can't do more than this, or you can't attack it because it's going to reflect the damage back at you or something. Tech Team's not an attack, right? It's just an action. Sure, it's an attack counter, but it's not a quote-unquote attack.
Does that get around guard then, right?
Right, yep. It's not an attack. Like Ant-Man's ants, they're not an attack.
Right.
It costs 3, so it's a little nichey, but you never know. So, I haven't played it in a long time, but... So.
Yeah. Well, just real quick, I just want to hit the villains just real quick. Rhino, Claw, and Ultron, there's still 3 of the most solid, most fun here villains to play, I think. I always enjoy it. Like, whenever I build a new deck, I test against Claw with Temporal. That's like my go-to testing scenario. But it's still fun to go up against Rhino and try to stop him from breaking and taking things.
That's right.
And Ultron is still like one of the super solid, well-designed encounters we have.
Yeah, Ultron can eat you up still, especially if you're building a deck that keys off specific cards, and those specific cards become drones. You're like, so yeah, he's still fun, difficult. Yeah, I always Claw. I like Claw a lot too, and especially if you're trying to put in modular sets that have boost icons, special boost icons. Claw will sometimes take me by surprise. I'll forget how good he can be when I going into it thinking, it's just the base, it's just a core site villain. Oh, wait a minute. Claw actually has some, he has some chops still. So.
Yeah, you gave him an additional boost card, and then it's something terrible that has a boost effect on it. That makes
like Space Pirates.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And like I said, Rhino is just, it's still fun, and it's nostalgic, and you want to teach somebody to play, and you can shuffle in all kinds of different modular sets, and Rhino standard 2, you know what I mean? Like,
so yeah, it's the real deal.
Be a challenge, and he can just be a nice scenario to play against where you're not like the brain burn's not really there. Like, he's going to attack me for a lot. You don't have counters on this card, and when this goes to 6, flip this card and then do this, and there's an environment and 7 other things are happening. So I think they're still great. This was a good core set. So
yeah, I think it still gets an A+ from me for overall core set.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was also like the first core set FFG ever put out that you had everything in the box you needed for 4 people to play without buying, a second or third copy. So.
Right. Which they finally wised up, right? The Lord of the Rings revised core set is out now, and that's a 4-player box that comes with full play sets of stuff.
Yeah, and now they're revising the campaigns.
Yep. They're doing all the same sort of stuff they're doing with Arkham, where you can buy a box of all the scenarios for a wave or cycles, or you can buy a box of all the player cards. We'll never get that in this with the way the hero packs work, which is fine. But I think Lord of the Rings is a great game, Arkham's a great game, but they both took a nice piece from Marvel and said, oh yeah, we should be doing it like this.
No, the only game that is any good is Marvel Champions. Right.
It's the best.
Yeah, that's it. You would talk about another game, you go on another podcast. That's how we do stuff here.
Right. Well, I was just comparing how high quality this game is compared to, say, something like Versus 2...
Something.
Whatever. Something. There's too many letters in that game. I don't know.
And what game? Versus System 2 PCG?
That one. Yeah.
The Versus System 2-player card game. I mean.
Yeah, 2-player card game. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I've never played that, so I can't judge. Can't judge it till I've played it. That's been trying to be my mantra to this game as well. I haven't played this yet. I shouldn't prejudge it. Let's play it first.
Versus is a lot of fun, and its theme is so on point that sometimes it's a little
too on point.
Yeah, it's too on point that sometimes they design a card and it's like, well, that is perfect for that character, but this will never see competitive play as a result. That kind of thing. But Wyatt Wingfoot, for example, knows he's in a card game. So if you play Wyatt Wingfoot, he then gets his own hand, and his own resource row for you to put stuff in to pay for cards, and it's he takes his own turn, which is so you get a second turn as the player controlling him, but it's you know what I'm saying? That if you were a new player trying to learn the game and the first thing you bought was the Fantastic Four set, and it's Wyatt Wingfoot knows he's in a card game. Here's all these crazy rules. It'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But the theme's still on point,
Yeah. Well, that's the difference I think they can do. And you were saying the theme's so on point, but some cards will never see competitive play. With Marvel not being competitive, they could make cards more thematic, and who cares? Because it's just fun. I'm playing against the game itself. I don't have to worry about efficiency every time. I don't have to worry about playing A tier, S tier heroes every time. I don't have to worry about testing myself against Ronin, Expert 2, Standard 2, this and that. If I don't want to.
Right. Well, I think some of that efficiency and super hyper stuff comes from people with a competitive gaming background, and then they bring those tendencies with them.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, if that is fun for them, more power to them. It's not fun for everybody, right?
Right.
And this game still now where we're at, you can build a thematic, non-efficient deck that you just think is fun and have a good chance against most villains.
Yep.
It's not always going to work against everybody. Collector 1 is going to destroy you if you just heck wrong against it, but you can't do that sort of this is just my fun deck in competitive games if you're playing competitive, or even in the later cycles of Lord of the Rings or in Arkham. Those games are just hard no matter what. I think I really like that Marvel, you can just sort of play this silly deck that I want to try this combo, and it could work. So, or at least you have a shot.
Right. And I think ultimately that's the goal for the game design, right? So.
Yep.
And well, I didn't have really anything else planned, and we were about 50 minutes in, so I think we can wrap it up here. So I'll let you, if you want to plug anything, you guys got anything exciting happening at Critical Encounters? You guys got any giveaways or anything happening you wanna plug?
We do, actually.
Oh. Wow.
Boom. We have a giveaway because when this releases, the giveaway is still active. You can check our Facebook page or any of the contest channel in the Discords. We're giving away a Enchantress pack and an Ultron pack. You might know them as Valkyrie and Vision. There's a Google
nice.
form. There's a Google form. It's really easy. We're just looking for stories why Vision and Valkyrie are terrible and why Ultron and the Enchantress are great. And we're going to pick some of our favorites and randomly choose among them. And you can win a Vision pack or a Valkyrie pack.
Sounds great. And where can people find you on the internet if they want more Steve?
You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We're Critical Encounters on Facebook. And on Discord, we're Vardane, Big Foam Loaf, and Wandering Took.
That's great. It's like you've done that 108 times before.
A few times. Hey, if you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies.
I think the one outro I said, if you don't like our show, tell Critical Encounters or something.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell Critical Encounters.
Our YouTube channel too is finally kind of rolling along. We've got a lot of different gameplays, a lot of different stuff up there. Mike plays some crazy stuff. I started a new series with a leadership modular, sort of like a smash up kind of thing. And we've been working our way trying to get better camera quality and things like that. So it's hard to do this stuff. Did you know that?
It all comes with time and experience, especially like I don't know about you, but I don't have, like, if I want to set up a table to stream a game, I can't have it out all the time. I have to tear it down, put it back up, figure out my lighting and set up the camera and all that again. So it's like starting from scratch over and over again, and it's kind of daunting at times to do with, full-time job, coaching sports, young kids, other activities, Yep. It's hard to get that stuff done at times.
Yeah, I sort of found my rhythm. Like, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes. Okay, good enough. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, I have to play too.
Yeah, I think the last couple times I've set it up has been for playing in online versus system 2 PCG events. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I like playing at the table better than a digital format. So I find the tactile version of the cards and them all there, I see things better. I make fewer mistakes. It's just more enjoyable. I bought them. I want to use them. So.
Makes sense to me. I think that'll do it for this one. Thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Friend of the show, Steve from Critical Encounters. So as I'll just say, thanks for stopping by, and as always, stay scheming, champions.
You ready for another bout?
What, you getting sleepy?
That's it, dude. That's the podcast, and yeah.
Nice. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, sure. I'll get out of here.
It's always fun to